Number 1. Russia to pull out of International Space Station. Russia says it will withdraw from the International Space Station, ISS, after 2024 and build its own station instead. The new head of Russia's space agency, Yuri Borisov, said Roscosmos would honor all its obligations until then. The US and Russia, along with other partners, have successfully worked together on the ISS since 1998. But relations have soured since Russia invaded Ukraine, and Russia previously threatened to quit the project because of Western sanctions against it. The ISS, a joint project involving 5 space agencies, has been in orbit around Earth since 1998 and has been used to conduct thousands of scientific experiments. It is approved to operate until 2024, but the US wants to extend that for 6 more years with the agreement of all partners. Number 2. Pope apologizes for catastrophic school policy in Canada. Pope Francis issued a historic apology Monday for the Catholic Church's cooperation with Canada's catastrophic policy of Indigenous residential schools, saying the forced assimilation of Native peoples into Christian society destroyed their cultures, severed families, and marginalized generations. "I am deeply sorry," Francis said to applause from school survivors and Indigenous community members gathered at a former residential school south of Edmonton, Alberta. He called the school policy a disastrous error that was incompatible with the gospel and said further investigation and healing is needed. "I humbly beg forgiveness for the evil committed by so many Christians against the Indigenous peoples," Francis said. In the first event of his week-long penitential pilgrimage, Francis traveled to the lands of 4 Cree nations to pray at a cemetery and then deliver the long-sought apology at nearby powwow ceremonial grounds. 4 chieftains escorted the pontiff in a wheelchair to the site near the former Ermineskin Indian residential school, and presented him with a feathered headdress after he spoke, making him an honorary leader of the community. More than 150,000 Native children in Canada were forced to attend government-funded Christian schools from the 19th century until the 1970s in an effort to isolate them from the influence of their homes and culture. The aim was to Christianize and assimilate them into mainstream society, which previous Canadian governments considered superior. Ottawa has admitted that physical and sexual abuse was rampant at the schools, with students beaten for speaking their native languages. That legacy of that abuse and isolation from family has been cited by Indigenous leaders as a root cause of the epidemic rates of alcohol and drug addiction now on Canadian reservations. Number 3. Honduras extradites alleged drug matriarch to the US. Honduras on Tuesday extradited Herlinda Bobadilla, a 61-year-old alleged gang leader arrested in a shootout that killed one of her sons, to the United States on drug charges. A U.S. indictment alleges Bobadilla, also known as Chinda, and 2 of her sons led the Los Montes drug cartel, one of the largest in Honduras. Los Montes is responsible for the distribution of multi-ton quantities of cocaine into the United States valued at millions of US dollars, the indictment said. The clan matriarch was captured with 3 other people in the mountainous department of Colon in the country's northeast in May. One of her sons, Tito, was killed in a shootout. Another fled and is still on the run. The trio had allegedly taken control of Los Montes after Bobadilla's other son, Numantes Bobadilla, was arrested and extradited to the United States in 2017 and subsequently sentenced to 37 years in jail for drug trafficking. Thank you for watching All That Happens. Remember to like and subscribe. And we hope to see you next time.